It's everyone's favorite game. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Season 2 with everyone's favorite character, Trans Mr. or Mrs. or whatever Freeze.
Well, everyone, the day has finally come. Season 2 has just launched. I played it earlier on stream, and I have thoughts. Now, just to get it out of the way up front, yes, this game is dead. They're going to finish out the 4 seasonal updates that they've already...
He has a minigun? He doesn't even have a unique weapon? Wow.
Committed to, and once those are out, they are almost certainly going to be walking away from it. Notably, Jason Schreier back in early June did a report on the game and explained kind of what went on, how the guys that were actually in charge of it, Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker, abandoned the studio and left like a year before its launch just because
smart.
They didn't think that it was going to be very good, most likely, so they left, leaving the studio to just fend for themselves, which is kind of slimy if you ask me. But he also mentions that many of the studio's current employees are now helping to develop a new director's cut version of Hogwarts Legacy, and at the same time, according to people familiar, the studio leaders are looking...
I don't know how I feel about that. These people who made this game failed on absolutely every level conceivable to humanity, okay? 500 billion years from now, people are going to be talking about how Suicide Squad killed the Justice League did absolutely nothing right. And these people now are moving to Hogwarts Legacy, an actually good game? This is bad. This is a travesty.
Looking to pitch a new single-player game which would return Rocksteady to its roots. So, they're all...
What roots? Every single person in Rocksteady that was responsible for the original Arkham games is gone. There are literally no roots to speak of.
Almost certainly not doubling down on this. They're not gonna commit to like 5 years of support. They're walking away, and it's in hospice basically right now. Now that...
Show us the player. Oh, Jesus. Oh. And Harley Quinn is also there and looking disgusting and freaky and ugly. Oh, modern games, sweet baby ink quality right here, boys. What a treat for the eyes. You know, at times like this, you wish you were blind.
Decision will make sense very quickly once you actually boot into the Season 2 update, which I have here with Mrs. Frost. That's right, they decided to go with a gender-swapped Mr. Freeze.
Because of course.
Instead of like a unique character or a character that...
Now, technically, that character is unique in all the wrong ways.
Was written as like a woman or something. They've just decided to take Mr. Freeze.
Look at that Karen aura, okay? Listen, the managers are gonna be called. There is no manager to be spared here. The Joker... that is just toxic male masculinity right there. Oh, jeez.
And then turn him into Mrs. Freeze, and that's the character we have. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, Factor. Not today. Now listen, this game has multiverse stuff. They can do whatever they want. They could have a gender swapped...
Yeah, they have multiverse stuff, which makes it all instantaneously great and fun game. Said no one ever. Also, yeah, multiverse stuff. That means that they can ruin everything with woke garbage. Well, I mean, it's already dead, so honestly, who cares?
Joker if they wanted to. Like, it's totally up to them. Nobody's doubting that they can explain it narratively. The point is, this game was met with great skepticism when it was announced, way back in the day, years ago at this point. These additional characters have been in the works since then. So you would think that at some point they would have said to themselves, we need to have these DLC, like expansion characters. They need to be badass. They need to be so good, so compelling and interesting and crazy that people want to not just go out and...
That's not how woke works, okay? It's not about the quality, it's not about the gameplay, it's not about the story, it's about fitting a narrative political message.
Like re-download the game, but like other people want to go and buy the game for the first time just to try it. But instead of really interesting, novel, captivating characters, we get Mrs. Freeze, and we also get an angsty teenager Joker, and like that's it. This is all we have. So
why are well, we know why every character is ugly. but, still have to point it out.
So far. And here's the deal. Right off the dome, I can think of a handful of characters that are in DC canon that I think would have immediately captivated Twitter and TikTok, and people would have gotten really excited just seeing them come to the game.
Yeah, literally any non-trans character. Yeah.
Instead of like angsty teenager Joker and then Mrs. Freeze. For one, I think if they brought Peacemaker, it would have been a layup. I think this would have popped off. Maybe they do a little deal with the man, the myth, the legend himself, John Cena, and they actually do a body scan of him, put him in the game. I think that would have been really cool. People would have been super stoked on that.
No, too much toxic masculinity.
I bet. Or they could have gone with Black Manta, which would be a really unique character, have all sorts of crazy cool moves.
No, not black enough.
And things that he could do. This could have been really compelling. Or another character that they reference in the game already with all sorts of notorious gear that you can get specifically for him and named after him.
Bane?
Just freaking do Scarecrow.
Oh.
Like, imagine Scarecrow swinging
No, definitely an insult.
through the city like Spider-Man with his big chain hook, like the one he uses in Injustice 2. Dude, it's a layup. People would love it. There's all sorts of crazy cool stuff you could do with him, especially tonally. He's very different from the rest of the group. It just, like, come on.
Implying that there's a single character in this game that even has anything remotely close to a personality. Now, first you need to have a personality for the character, then the character matters.
Be awesome. Or perhaps the character I think that would have been an absolute layup and would have gotten people super excited, especially because it works so well with the multiverse idea. This is a version of Batman that is in the lore of DC. It's called the Batman Who Laughs. And basically the idea is that it's the pure insanity of Joker mixed with the genius of Batman in a melding that creates a horrifyingly brilliant super
Isn't Joker technically already a genius, by the way?
villain that don't give no craps and is terrifyingly capable of doing whatever he wants to do. This guy swinging through the city on chains and with laugh gas and stuff, like this would have been...
To be fair, this is also something niche that people actually don't know of, so I don't think this would work that much. It maybe would work as shock value, but again, the game needs to be good in the first place.
An amazing addition to the cast. And yet, we get this. Like,
disgusting.
Like, it's almost like they were trying to come up with characters that would be roundly mocked on social media. For one, looking like an actual walking refrigerator, and then also looking like the Joker, baby. It's unbelievable that they thought this was a good idea, because no matter what you...
I don't know about that. I personally really believe that there was no doubt in their minds that this is a good idea. That's the problem, kind of.
Think of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I think you have to acknowledge anybody could have told them that this was going to be received poorly. If they were to do this, they were going to get crap. And the fact that they seemingly have been surprised at the feedback for these expansion characters, it's honestly all the more terrifying that they somehow thought this was going to be well received. It's genuinely unbelievable. But setting all that aside, I jumped in.
The movement at least looks good. Honestly, probably the best movement in the game because, you know, it actually just moves you in a straight line. Wow.
Into this on stream earlier, hoping to see some new missions, hoping that maybe they learn from season 1.
New missions? What do you mean, you sweet poor dear summer child? New missions? New stuff? Of course they're not gonna do it.
After all, they delayed this seasonal update by 2
I wonder which reskin of boss that already existed in the game this time Brainiac will be.
weeks, or just under 2 weeks. The day before it was supposed to launch, in like early to mid-July, they delayed it to the very end of July, the day before it was supposed to launch. Really, really strange. But I was hopeful maybe they were going to drop something really cool and crazy and blow us all away, and maybe we'll start a redemption arc. Nope.
Again, this is the problem, and Luke doesn't understand it. This game's fundamentally just stupid and boring. The weapons are boring and feel bad. The upgrades are boring and feel bad. The skills are pretty much always boring and feel bad. Most movement skills are boring and feel bad. Missions are boring and feel bad. The world is made by some kind of 5-year-old, it seems like. They made a world and then they were like, oh wait, we need this and this for travel options. Oh, you know what? Let's add these giant things right here. Like, this world doesn't even seem like a real world. This is something out of a horror movie, okay? Nothing makes sense here. It's just really bad. Whoever designed this world deserves a slap in the face.
That's not what's going on here. The map is basically the same as it's always been, except now there are some icy effects over different areas of it. But as you can see, this is literally just a square that they developed separately and then made like icy, and they literally just plopped it. I mean, it's almost a perfect square. You can tell that they built the little level, they imported it in here, they didn't do anything fancy to like meld it together. You can see it's right next to a
I'm surprised they even went that far, to be completely honest.
beach. You know what, let's actually go over there. Yeah, here we are. You can see it's literally just the square piece that they made that they just plopped on top of everything else they already had. Like, it's just shockingly lazy. It's just sand right up to the snow and nothing else. It's unreal. Like,
the fact that this is a minigun and there's already another character with a minigun is probably the laziest part, if you honestly ask me, but okay.
I understand they have a skeleton crew working on this right now, but even still, I'm just consistently blown away at how unbelievably uninteresting they've managed to make these updates. It's crazy. And speaking of the update itself, of course, it's all centered around Mrs. Freeze.
Oh, look at that. The
has her own
animation.
unique
Disgusting.
traversal style, which is kind of what makes or breaks these additional characters. The Joker has a really unique movement style. I actually really like it, and I think it's the one saving grace of the season 1 update that they did. But Mrs. Freeze, like, you can do this little loop-de-loop thing to get a jump. You can't really get that high in the air with it, even if you time it correctly.
Oh,
you have to do
that's
this
sad.
weird like ice wall thing by holding down right bumper, and it just doesn't shoot you up very quickly. Honestly,
So this is just a reskin Deadshot jetpack. That's it? Wow.
I
It looked better at the start, but that's because there was elevation, I guess. Oh, Sag.
greatly prefer the movement of the Joker. Like, I think him and King Shark, I don't really like Harley's movement that much, but King Shark and then Boomerang, their movement systems are just significantly better. And so I found myself somehow disappointed with this, because the one thing that they've done well so far, at least with the one expansion and update that they've had, was the movement with the Joker. And then this time around, it's just not that fun. Like, it just feels worse compared to what they've already done. Furthermore, there are obvious gameplay integrations they could have done with this that just don't work. For example, I thought when I saw the like promotional materials for this seasonal update, I thought that when Mrs. Freeze went and would use like this ice platform thing, I thought it would create an ice platform, since she's standing on it, that other people in the party could stand on. So you could basically create like a
Well, that would imply that other people would play this game, so that's not happening.
floating sniper nest or something for a member of your party. So like, if I was here, I could maybe go out here, stretch the ice out, and create a little platform for Harley to go out onto if she has a sniper rifle or something. I thought that would be super, super cool. And
Yeah, look at this Gatling gun. Look at this. It's just pathetic. There's no expansion that saves the core of the game being just not appealing.
was interested in seeing how they would implement that. But it turns out, no, that makes too much sense. And instead, it disappears as quickly as it appears. Like, it's really disappointing to see how quickly the ice just evaporates. Like, I understand in this case it's floating in midair. I get that. But just a little bit of Frozone action would have been cool. Like, if I anchor it here starting there, maybe it stays supported and I can create like little bridges with it. They don't have to last forever, but just something would be nice. But speaking of nice, what isn't nice are
Everything.
the outfits that they've put in the game. So you see this one, the Science of Style Arkham Pack. This is literally just the Mr. Freeze outfit from Batman Arkham City, and it's just copied over here, so you can get that if you want her to wear that. That's an option. There's also this one where you can actually wear a trash bag.
Disgusting.
It's got to be one of the most unappealing and just offensive
Well, that is woke. It is supposed to be unappealing.
to the eyes outfits I've
Unintentionally, though.
ever seen as a paid cosmetic. Bear in mind, this costs $10. This skin costs
Bro, they should pay me $10 per minute to play this game with this costume.
$10. Like you can't even make this up. I cannot fathom a world in which somebody would think that this was worth $10. You couldn't get me to equip this onto a character if it were free. It's that offensive. Like I'm shocked.
Also, what the hell is with these body proportions? Please someone explain. Why is the head just so visibly smaller than the rest of the body? Like, look at these legs. What the fuck are we even doing here? These are... What's going on here? Like, the body proportions here are astonishingly non-existently bad. This is atrocious. This is a sin against humanity.
My senses is repelled by this mustard ketchup rhubarb pie monstrosity that I'm seeing before me. But anyway, very few people are going to be buying these cosmetics and stuff, so
Hopefully
I don't
no
think we
one.
need to dwell on it too much. The core problem with Suicide Squad is not cosmetics. It's not even really character designs. The core problem of Suicide Squad is just that the game is frankly boring. And even in these big updates, they have done nothing to really change it at all. Like, they've added occasional tweaks to how certain encounters will trigger. They might add a different Elseworld that's decorated differently, like hers is all ice themed, so that's different. So I guess we can't be that mad. But even then, it's
Wait, when this thing shot,
that's different. So I guess
there's the effect just stops, and you're just taking damage.
we can't be that mad. But even then, it's just like all they had to do was to
Oh, jeez, it's so bad.
come along and offer something moderately different and interesting. But I think that they saw the writing on the wall well in advance of the game launching.
Bro, they did not see the writing on the wall. Listen, okay, they did not. You if they saw the writing on the wall when this game was about to release, except the people at the top, they would have not made anything like this. This was a bust the minute one. No, second zero, this was already a bust.
Probably after that first big delay back in 2023. And I think that they knew this game was never going to be a big success. So they took everybody off of it. They had a skeleton crew working on it. And they've just decided, you know what? We'll just wrap it up, get it out the door, move on, and we'll call it good. We'll try to forget that this ever happened. And I can't frankly blame them for that, because
I can.
I mean, what else are they really expected to do? The work that would be required to really turn this game around is so vast and expansive. It's just not going to be as simple as, oh, we'll just add in one or two different mission types. No, they need a total reworking. And I don't blame them for looking at it and being like, you know what?
Dude, there's like this giant frost effect when this thing moves. Why? It's there's feet lands and there's like, remember, this is snow. Snow is being created with... shut the fuck up.
What? It'll be faster just to make a new game.
That's what I've been saying for a while.
But perhaps that brings us to the big question, which is, I'm sure, on
The big
everybody's
question?
minds. Luke, why do you keep beating this dead horse over and
Because it's funny, and because this is necessary. I don't know, well, it's different for him, but for me, I do this because these things need to be called out. We need to make fun of them, because the more we make fun of them, the bigger the chance that either these companies are going to go bankrupt, and when they go bankrupt, everyone wins, because someone is just going to buy the IP and make it better, hopefully, or they actually look at this and say, maybe having 15 different tribal Aborigine dance choreographers working on this game and giving us hints how this should be better was not a smart idea. Yeah, maybe it wasn't.
over and over again? It's got to be bad for your mental health too. Like, Why do you keep doing this to yourself? And honestly,
I enjoy it.
I think it's because, for one, people are interested. Like, it's just a dumpster fire people can't look away from. And that's probably evidenced by the very fact that you're watching this video right now. Like, there's something in you that found this interesting and you wanted to see what the dumpster fire was like. Or I guess in this case, dumpster freezer. But I'm sorry, that was such a bad attempt at a joke. I'm sorry. Please don't unsubscribe.
You should be.
Anyway, I think that, frankly, the reason I continue to go back to it is because, again,
I don't get it. Why is this shit red? I don't get it. Why is the color palette just magically red here?
and the most fierce opponents to games like this are usually former fans of the studio themselves. Like, the reason why I care so deeply about Rocksteady as a studio is because I know they can do so much better. Like, I've seen what they're capable
Wow, what an animation.
and frankly,
Oh.
it's just shockingly disappointing to see them fall so far to do all of this. Like, they are
Is it though? Is this really disappointing? Is this shocking? Also, he's not talking about how you acquired this thing. Because when it was the Joker, you needed to do like 50 hours of grinding, or you just pay $20 for the Joker. I wonder what kind of grind you actually needed to get done here for Mrs. Praise. Okay, let's check it. Steam charts, Suicide Squad, first thing that pops up. Let's see. Oh wow! Oh wow! This season 2 is huge. A 70% gain in average player base. This is huge, boys. It went from 180 players to 310. Wow! With a peak players of a whopping 660. Holy, this is absolutely ginormous. There's currently 290 poor souls playing this game. This is insane. Wow! 70% gain in player base. That's huge. Fortnite is literally currently looking at this and saying, how can we pull this off? I'm so done. No, this is just a dumpster fire. Anyway, that was Luke Steffens, 10 out of 10. Bye!